In the bustling city of Lille, France, a young teenager named Adèle begins her day by leaving her cozy home in the early morning. Her mission for the day, navigating the labyrinthine routes of subways that will ultimately lead her to school. Once she arrives in school, Adèle and her classmates find themselves immersed in the captivating world of the life of Marianne. Their teacher delves into the profound impact of love at first sight. Amidst the animated discussion, one of Adèle's classmates openly reflects on the potential regret that can stem from failing to seize the opportunity to connect with someone special. While her peers engage fervently in the conversation, Adèle remains a silent observer, her emotions concealed beneath a veneer of impassivity. During lunch with her friends, they gush about sex while Adèle just listens. Then Thomas, a boy from school, flashes a smile in Adèle's direction, sparking curiosity among her friends who insist he's interested in her. They urge her to take notice, but Adèle remains disinterested and detached. The following day, Adèle boards the bus, only to have Thomas join her. As they strike up a conversation, Adèle gradually warms up to him. She discovers that Thomas is a senior with aspirations of pursuing a music-related career at university. Their conversation naturally veers towards music, and Adèle confesses her eclectic taste while humorously dismissing hard rock as men with long hair screaming into microphones. Thomas laughs, admitting his fondness for the very genre she disapproves of. However, Adèle playfully suggests that this musical difference might just be an excuse to hang out again soon, realizing that her preconceived notions might not align with his actual interests. On another day, Adèle is on the verge of crossing the street when her attention is drawn to a woman with striking blue hair embracing another woman. Their eyes meet, and the stranger offers a warm smile, leaving Adèle unexpectedly captivated by this brief encounter. Soon after, Adèle meets up with Thomas for a casual hangout. They grab lunch and chat about her current class reading, The Life of Marianne. Thomas, while admitting he hasn't read many books, promises to read The Life of Marianne for Adèle, a gesture fueled by his deep admiration for her. Thomas and Adèle go to the movie later, where Thomas goes to hold her hand and kiss her neck and mouth. Adèle lets him a little, but her heart isn't into it. That night, as she sleeps, Adèle begins to dream of the blue-haired woman touching and kissing her. Adèle begins to masturbate in her sleep, touching her breasts and genitals, and breathing deep. In the middle of it all, she wakes up startled. She couldn't believe what she was feeling. The next day, her friends want details in regards to Thomas, thinking the two slept together. Adèle denies that they did and finally leaves when she gets tired of their questions. Thomas follows into the school and asks if he did something wrong or if he went too fast because he really likes her. Adèle, desperately wanting to try and be normal with a boy who likes her, kisses him back. In the next scene, Adèle and Thomas are seen in his bedroom, and both of them are naked. They begin to have sex, which is apparently Adèle's first time ever. As they get into it, Adèle seems to enjoy it quite a bit. When it is over, however, Adèle has a distant, detached look on her face. Perhaps, despite her desire to just be a normal girl who likes boys, it isn't enough, or rather it is not the right thing for her. Adèle opens up to her friend Valentin, sharing her unhappiness in her relationship with Thomas. She jokes about how her appearance might be a factor in their problems, but she knows she can't avoid the truth. Before meeting Thomas, she takes a cigarette break at school. Later, Adèle and Thomas sit on a bench, and she gently tells him their relationship isn't working for her, apologizing for any pain it might cause. Thomas, visibly upset, quietly accepts the end of their relationship and leaves. At home, Adèle lies on her bed, tears welling up, grappling with her guilt for hurting an innocent boy. She feels at her lowest. To escape, Adèle joins a student protest with friends. Lost in the crowd, she briefly forgets her troubles. Back at school, she sits alone in a stairwell, lighting another cigarette. A young woman from her group of friends sits down next to her and bums a light from her. As another girl passes, the woman comments that the girl has a very nice ass. Adèle scoffs at the comment, and the young woman says she thinks Adèle is the cutest girl in their year. Adèle blushes, and the young woman tilts Adèle's face her way and kisses her on the lips to Adèle's surprise. The next day at school after class, Adèle tracks the girl down in the ladies' restroom, and when no one is around, she starts kissing her. The girl, however, does not respond to it. The girl then tells Adèle that she didn't mean for her to get addicted to it and her kissing. Adèle was just some harmless fun, making it clear she wanted nothing more. However, she tells Adèle that nothing will change with them and she will not tell their other friends, keeping her secret. Adèle is crushed, thinking she found a potential partner. Adèle grabs Valentin and asks to go out with him that night. Valentin takes her to a club where Adèle watches men dancing. She is bewildered by it all, but also sad because she doesn't have that type of connection in her own life. Seeing a woman that looks like the blue-haired girl she saw on the street, Adèle leaves the club, following the group of women to another bar. When she gets there, she realizes it is a women-only bar. She gets a few looks and some of the women start talking with her. Adèle is a bit embarrassed by the attention and goes up to the bar and orders a beer. Looking up to the loft area, she sees the very same blue-haired woman from that day. The woman sees her too and grins. The woman comes down and after deflecting another woman from talking to Adèle, begins to chat with her. The blue-haired woman introduces herself as Emma. Adèle asks about what Emma does for a living and Emma replies she is 22 years old and is in her 4th year of college studying fine arts. The next day, as school lets out, Adèle is with her group of friends when she sees Emma waiting for her. Adèle goes to her, ignoring all the calls of her friends. Emma invites Adèle to come and get a drink with her. Only Valentin realizes what is really going on and watches silently as the two girls walk away. Adèle and Emma sit on a park bench and Emma starts sketching her. Emma asks if she feels embarrassed and Adèle admits she does a little as it isn't every day that she is sketched. The two talk a bit about philosophy and Sartre. Emma discusses how she agrees with Sartre's ideals of choosing her own path in life without any higher principles, as it helped her decide what she wants out of life. Adèle compares the ideals to that of Bob Marley and how the two were both committed in their principles and ideas. The next day, Adèle is quickly and decisively confronted by her group of friends. They want to know about Emma and why Adèle is hanging around with her. Adèle tries to deflect their questioning, saying Emma is just a friend. However, the third degree continues and turns very ugly. They ask about her going with Valentin to a club, which she tries to deny but then must admit is true when Valentin confirms it. It is here when things go from bad to worse. They begin to ask Adèle if she is only interested in women and pretend to say that they don't care if she is, but they want her to admit it. Then they had an altercation followed by a verbal and physical fight. Some time later, we see Emma and Adèle at an art gallery taking in all the paintings and sculptures. Later, they have a small picnic on a blanket in a park and discuss art and life, over smoking cigarettes and drinking wine from small bottles. Adèle gets closer to Emma and kisses her. Emma returns it. After a few moments, they break away and smile at each other. In the next scene, Adèle and Emma are in bed in presumably Emma's apartment. They are both naked and about to have sex for the first time. There we watch Adèle and Emma make love in a very explicit, hardcore lesbian sex. When it is over, they lay in bed side by side. As Emma falls asleep, Adèle has tears in her eyes which roll down her face as she gently strokes Emma's naked body. She finally has found a sexual connection that satisfies her body and her emotions. Some months later, during the summer season, Adèle and Emma are seen at a gay parade together. After a while, Adèle loosens up and is happy. Seeing other same-sex couples show public displays of affection, Adèle kisses Emma publicly and walks down the street with her hand in hand. For the first time, Adèle embraces her true self. Months later, Adèle accompanies Emma to meet her parents for dinner, bearing a potted plant as a gift. Upon arrival, Adèle is introduced to Catherine, Emma's mother, and Vincent, her stepfather. They are aware of Emma's sexuality and have no qualms about it, and openly support and love their daughter and her romance with Adèle. They ask about Adèle's plan after school, and she says she wants to go into teaching as her learning impacted her life for the better. Vincent and Catherine applaud her choice, while at the same time loving the fact that Emma is in art despite its hardships. Adèle returns home but doesn't find her parents inside. She ventures into the backyard and discovers a surprise birthday party awaiting her, celebrating her 18th birthday and upcoming graduation. One night, Adèle brings Emma home to have dinner with her parents. However, her working-class and conservative parents are clueless about their daughter's sexuality and believe that Emma is just a friend who helped Adèle understand philosophy better. It is clear that Emma is hurt that Adèle is lying to her folks about her, but understands why. The film reopens 4 or 5 years later. We see Emma sketch Adèle as she lays out nude on a sofa with a cigarette dangling from her mouth. Emma's hair is now dyed blonde. Adèle and Emma live together like a committed couple. We see the first of many days of Adèle as a teacher for preschool-age children. She seems to love her job. One of her male colleagues asks if she wants to go out with a few others for a drink. Adèle declines, saying she has plans. Adèle says that she is having a family dinner. The co-worker accepts that but says that if she ever wants to hang out after work, to let him know. Emma hosts an art exhibition in their apartment, and Adèle dedicates her day to preparing food and ensuring they have enough for the guests. Most attendees belong to Emma's art circle, which makes Adèle feel uncomfortable due to a perceived gap in social and intellectual backgrounds. To avoid feeling out of place, she keeps herself occupied, avoiding conversations. However, a man named Samir persuades Adèle to sit down and chat. Samir shares his experience as an actor, often cast in stereotypical roles like Arab terrorists, and his frequent visits to New York City. Adèle expresses her desire to visit America, particularly New York, but laments the lack of time. Samir encourages her, believing it would be a life-changing experience. Their conversation shifts to Adèle's romantic life, and she confides in Samir about her relationship with Emma, her first meaningful experience. Despite her pleasant conversation with Samir, Adèle struggles to engage with anyone else at the party. She notices Emma's closeness to Lies, wondering if Emma is growing distant. After tidying up, Adèle joins Emma in bed. Emma admires Adèle's writing and encourages her to do more, but Adèle prefers teaching over writing. Emma values creation and meaning, while Adèle seeks happiness and fulfillment in their relationship. Adèle desires intimacy, but Emma declines due to her period. Adèle is a little skeptical given the time of month, but just lets it go. Adèle asks about Lies. Emma tells her that Lies isn't an ex-girlfriend or anything, but is just another painter like she is. The following day, Adèle received a message on the answering machine from Emma saying she is working late with Lies, and Adèle shouldn't wait up. Deciding not to stay at home like usual, Adèle decides to go out and get drinks with her co-workers, including the male one who kept asking. They drink and decide to dance. Adèle loosens up and seductively dances with the man. Eventually, she kisses him passionately, and a combination of feeling neglected by Emma, wanting a connection, and perhaps wondering if she is fully gay has led Adèle to cheat. The next day back at school, it is clear that Adèle's head isn't fully in her teaching, as she is feeling some guilt about kissing her co-worker. Apparently going out with him again, she is given a ride home by him one night. She kisses him goodbye and then pretends to head into another apartment complex before going to her real apartment. Emma is waiting for her, tense and not happy. Adèle goes up to her acting like nothing is wrong, and that's when the trouble begins. Emma asks who dropped her off. Adèle first says a female colleague. She went out with co-workers and has decided to not be out with them. However, Emma knows it is a man, so Adèle is forced to change her story. Emma then reveals that she saw Adèle kissing him. Emma screams at her, asking how many times she slept with the man. Adèle initially denies it but finally breaks down, saying she indeed slept with the male colleague a few times, but it meant nothing. She just felt so alone, and Emma was pulling away from her and wouldn't talk to her. Having heard this admission makes Emma completely explode, and she calls Adèle a loose character woman and tells her to get out, throwing clothes in a suitcase. Adèle pleads to let her talk about what happened, but Emma won't hear it and throws her out, saying that they are through. Adèle finally leaves and walks down the street into the night, completely heartbroken and sobbing uncontrollably. 1 month later, during a summer trip with some of her students, Adèle plays with the kids on the beach. Asking for another teacher to cover for her for a few minutes, Adèle goes to take a swim in the sea. She pauses offshore and floats on the water. The water's color is blue, like Emma's hair. Adèle is next seen in a seedy room of a flop house where she now lives alone. She cries herself to sleep seemingly every night. One night as she sleeps, she jolts awake after a supposed nightmare. A deleted scene shows she dreamed about Emma and Lies having sex. Another year or two later, Adèle meets with Emma in a coffee shop. They tenderly embrace and go to sit down to catch up. Adèle is still teaching at her elementary school, and Emma is still doing art and has a few new shows coming up. Adèle says she wants to save up and buy a painting of hers. Emma says she will give her one for free, but Adèle says it is a point of principle to pay for it, to which Emma nods. Emma reveals she has been in a relationship with Lies for several years and has become a second mother to Lies' 3-year-old daughter. Adèle reveals that she hasn't been in any relationship since their breakup, which was over 3 years ago. Emma says that her home life with Lies is intellectually stimulating. Adèle asks about their sex life, and Emma admits it isn't like the one she had with Adèle. Adèle says it must be boring. Adèle says she misses Emma and that she wants her. Adèle slowly starts to kiss Emma's hand. When Emma doesn't respond right away, but she is clearly still attracted to Adèle to some capacity, gives in to the advances. The two kiss and caress each other longingly for a few moments, but Emma pulls away. Ashamed, Adèle apologizes and asks if she will see Emma again. To her dismay, Emma says no. She has a family now and she can't risk it. Adèle asks if Emma still loves her. Emma says that she doesn't, but she has infinite tenderness for Adèle and will remember their times together for the rest of her life. Adèle, though heartbroken, understands and tells Emma she can leave. They embrace passionately. As Emma departs, Adèle's emotions overflow and tears stream down her cheeks. The subsequent scene finds Adèle back in her classroom, teaching young first-grade students reading and writing. Some time passes, and Adèle prepares for an art gallery visit. She dresses up and heads to the exhibition where Emma's work is showcased. They greet each other, and Adèle thanks Emma for the invite. Adèle admires the art, but is surprised to see herself as a muse in Emma's new creations. However, seeing Emma with her partner Lies makes Adèle uncomfortable. Emma acknowledges Adèle, but her attention remains on other guests and Lies. Adèle bumps into Samir, who's now in real estate. They both agree that the art scene isn't their thing. As Samir mingles, Adèle reflects. She realizes two crucial truths. Their different worlds and goals doomed her and Emma, and this chapter is over. Despite her fear, she knows she must move on. Quietly leaving the gallery, she heads home. Samir notices her absence but can't find her. In the end, Adèle walks alone towards her home. She is acutely aware that this phase of her life journey has ended, and she must now write the next chapter. The film concludes on this poignant and ambiguous note, accompanied by the sound of calypso drums during the closing credits.